All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our small contracts project. Let's have a look at what we're going to be going over today. And today we're back inside of our Web3Py favorites module, and we're still inside of the part of the module where we're deploying a contract to the EVM. So let's do some light reading, and then we'll take a look at the contract to see exactly where we are in the contract section of the module. Let me get this out of the way. So the address above is just an example, and we will need to use an actual address. We are deploying a contract. Also note we will need to initialize the address variable at the top of our contract before we can use it to get the nonce. Once we have initialized the address variable, we can just use the my address variable to pass as the account address to get the transaction count method, and we can get the nonce for that account. As of right now, our transaction dictionary does not have a nonce field, so we need to add it. We can do this by adding the following line of code to our transaction dictionary. You can see transaction nonce equals nonce. This will set the nonce field to the current number of transactions that have been sent from the account, and we will help ensure that the transaction is unique and cannot be replayed. Now that we set the nonce field, we can see that the transaction is not a valid transaction that can be sent to the EVM, and we can print the transaction to see the compilation details. After we have configured the nonce and the address, we can print the transaction again, and this time we will see that we will now have a nonce field in our transaction dictionary, and it will be set to the current number of transactions that have been sent from the account, which should be zero if this is the first transaction that we are sending from the account. It is important that we do this Web3 transaction count instead of just setting the nonce directly to zero, because the nonce is a unique number that is used to identify the transaction. And if we set it to zero, it could cause the transaction to fail if there are other transactions that have been sent from the account. So let's have a look at the actual contract. So we see how we implement it into the contract. So we're going to have it twice. One of them is going to be commented out, and the second one is not. So the first one that's going to be commented out is how we initialized it, how we learned in the practice run, and the second one is how we actually used it in a more professional manner. So you can see this one here: transaction nonce equals nonce. This is, let me get this out of the way. This is how we learned to initialize the contract in a practice run. So transaction nonce equals nonce. But as we moved forward, we actually used it in a more professional way. You can see here we just have our nonce nonce here, and we have our address, and we have our gas price. So we're not exactly here yet. We're still going on the practice side of it, which is this one here. So that's why it's commented out. I'll probably run it for you tomorrow so we can see all of the details that pop up once we actually deploy the contract and see what it looks like. If we're not too far along, some things may be too configured to fit the contract as of now, so we might not be able to see exactly what it looked like during the example, but we'll get there when we cross that bridge tomorrow. But of course, I will keep you posted every step of the way. For now, it's the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.